Oh, a lightsaber.
Are y'all doing the ballroom blitz?
No. It's not lightsaber.
It's a burrito.
Saber of light.
It's a burrito, is what it is. Otherwise,
What
we get
was it
sued.
originally called? It was something else before it was called that, right?
Laser sword.
Yes,
A
there you
laser
go.
sword. Yeah, a laser.
That
It's a
works.
laser
But
sword.
just repeat after me. It is none of those things. It is a burrito because Disney
Don't
will
wait-
sue us all.
Don't wave your hand and try to convince us of something else that's also Star Wars related. You can't do that.
Yeah. Besides, I'm a Twitarian. Mind tricks don't work on me. Okay, only money. So no money, no parts, no deal.
Oh.
Okay, and no one else has a T14 hyperdrive. I promise you that.
Speaking of Star Wars, I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian next week or the end of this week.
Yes. End of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't say that. Ron will say something I don't want him to say.
You know she died?
Son of a bitch.
The voice actress for Ducky died as a child.
Piece of shit. You're terrible. Audience,
the land
every
before
time I
time.
say that, I just say it without thinking.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
And then you
I'm saying
Her life?
this will improve your day. Look.
what am I looking at? That is. Let me click on this.
He's showing something.
Oh yeah, did we delete the streams?
We didn't.
Test streams?
And the 2-minute one has 14 views on it. By the
Amazing.
way, the first
Amazing.
2-minute one that is terrible
Yeah.
has
Audio
more
pointed
views on it
We ought to
than
just,
our
like-
actual video has on it.
We just need to make a playlist for like
Well, we did it on a Tuesday.
I
technical
Maybe
hate
that's
difficulties.
what it
everyone.
was.
He's
Maybe we need to change the day to Tuesday, and then we'll get more views. I don't know.
It would possibly be a good idea. Possibly.
Like no
I
one's
mean-
streaming D&D on Tuesdays, right?
And everybody's streaming on not
Thursday and
everybody.
Friday.
the next
I mean,
week,
we'd
no, I
eat up
actually
a good bit
I
of the
start
market
closing
share there.
Tuesdays, so let's not do that.
I know it's a terrible
Yeah.
time to do it. That's probably why no one's doing it.
We'd have to go like 5:30 to 7 or 8, 5:30 to 8, or 6:30 to 9. I could do 6:30 to 9 on Tuesdays.
6-9, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, 6 to 9, yeah.
Yeah. So 5:30 to 9, right? Like just a little.
Okay, and that's
what
our
it ended
stream
up
for
being
today,
is
everybody.
actually
Thank you for
6:30 to
joining
like
us.
12 o'clock at night.
Right. Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Dang,
Okay.
it's already 9:45.
So what we're referring to, anyone who's watching on Twitch, which I don't have Twitch open because I'm going to get distracted by looking at it continually throughout the session, so I'm not.
Fair.
So if somebody else will watch it and maybe message in or something if they're not engaged. Okay. So for everybody who missed it or whatever, Tuesday night we had a little like one-off kind of like side quest session dealio where Roland and Atlas did the brave and wondrous thing that everyone knows is a good idea and split the party. So
Okay,
they went
time out. To be fair, we've done it at least twice since we've been in Waterdeep.
specifically for looking for a fight. So
Gambling. We're trying to gamble. It was supposed to be like an hour-long distraction. I promised the kid already. I have to plead my case right now. I'm sorry.
No.
He asked me to do it. I wanted to give him his night because he hadn't been in a fight since we got to Waterdeep. I'm like, let me just
And then
appease the kid. And
When
then
has
everyone
anything we done take an hour? When?
did. In game?
A
I don't
lot.
know.
A lot.
Exactly.
I'll come up with something.
It took us less than an hour
Yeah,
to blow up
think
the
real
government.
hard.
It took less than.
We took about an hour just trying to break into Ulfney's place like 3 sessions ago.
Yeah.
But to,
I can come up with examples. You gotta give me some time.
Our
Okay, let's
sessions were like
So
let's
either
go
that,
back to the recap.
so either that was a mistake or
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So they went out and they had all of these different selections of places they could have gone, but instead picked the one place that was a part of one of our characters' backstories, and he ended up coming across a very serious rival who had left he in his previous body a paralytic permanently. someone who had beat him to death. Now, not only did they come across this person, this is Leo the Bullet Lambert, who is Atlas's rival. Not only was he at this particular tavern, but also had apparently come across, captured, and kept Atlas's dog,
That was a fun one.
who had been let out. And so there was literally steam blowing out of Atlas's ears that
Like
session.
literally.
So, yeah, like literally. He's a Warforged and he's like a
Almost like he was
clockwork
begging to be fought that night. Almost.
And so rather than, coming up with an elaborate plan to create a ruse and all this stuff, they just decide to basically jump right into things with a little bit of conversation.
Mischaracterization of facts. It just, I had a whole spiel.
And
Okay.
decided
almost,
to fight.
Almost Razzie worthy.
Decided
just for the record, anytime you try to represent yourself, it's not going to end well in a court of law. You really should hire a lawyer for this.
I said almost Razzie worthy.
To argue,
I give you a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, Roland. MVP.
Look,
MVP.
man, so
The objective was to piss him off, and I succeeded too well.
You did, yeah.
I had a nat 20 in my persuasion. I didn't even. And one made him fight us in that moment. I'm sorry.
Look, Roland, everybody here is for you, man. Okay, so when you're for yourself, it's kind of petty.
I oversold it.
I'm sorry. I'm just giving you crap, man.
I think I pissed the DM off while I was doing it, and he was like, "You know what? All right, you want to talk this much shit? Fuck you."
The dice gods are really upset our DM. I'll give the players a little recap too. As you know, our good old DM was rolling a whole bunch of 1s and 2s and whatnot last session. He was getting a little
4 or 5 rolls that were over a 10 in the entirety of the Tuesday session.
See now DM, we're totally in support of you, and if you're just supporting yourself, you're just begging at this point. So don't worry about it, man.
Disadvantage.
I better be careful.
Disadvantage on all of Atlas's rolls. Ah, fuck.
No, I didn't say that. Atlas didn't say that. The player did.
Anyway, so they did pretty well in getting together, trying to plan out this betting scheme, because they wanted to get back Atlas's dog, So they go through that, and they decide to fight this person who is a career fighter. This is what this person does. Leo the Bullet Lambert is a career fighter. Ends up being a barbarian, and which
for the record,
information they didn't have.
Yes, for the record, I think it's in canon.
It's like he cannot finish his recap.
I just need to plead my case some more. No one was aware, including the person who was paralyzed by this person, knew that this guy was a barbarian. Apparently,
I never knew.
Just gonna say that.
I would also like to add this to the list of things we can't get through in an hour. The recap. Avery, just for the record,
we'll finish it.
Officially added to the list.
It's added to the list. I got it.
You have a list?
So, after agreeing to pay a specified amount of gold and a particular wand against Leo the Bullet Lambert, and then Leo the Bullet Lambert being successful in his battle against Atlas having an unfortunate fall in battle, Roland then proceeded to have a long series of implied denial of payments that took place. So
trying to schedule a rematch for my client.
So in and among this, blood pressure rose, and the characters ended up in a battle that they dispatched pretty quickly, but in the midst of that revealed one particular person in the room who had been watching things unfold, and unintentionally, with unbeknownst to them, had revealed this person, and And then this person takes off running, and they decide to pursue him, and he casts a spell that brings him out of invisibility, revealing his face to the party, and the party said, well, wait a minute. We're going to stop him. And he turns to them and says, you've seen my face now. You know too much. And then a fireball is shot into the... And Roland needs to defend himself some more.
Mischaracterization of the facts. I asked him to stop while he was still invisible. He does the spell
like a politician
against what I was trying to. I hadn't even attacked him yet. I was like,
This
dude,
is true.
chill, don't
Yeah.
do anything. He does a spell, knocks out his own invisibility. I see his face because I'm standing right in front of him. He darts out of the room. I make an attack of opportunity because he just tried to assault me verbally. and spiritually possibly. And then he continues to run. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna leave, whatever. And I go back to the fight. Like a minute later, he comes back in the room and then launches a fireball unexpectedly. That's all I'm saying.
Keeping in mind though that the order of initiative put his turn after your return to the room.
Sure.
So, okay.
Awesome.
So that's where we left off. Essentially, this tavern has been massacred or desecrated, or massacred. There's been essentially almost a genocide committed in the inside of this. Yeah. So we had not discussed it. Only discussed it briefly. The outer wall. We're just going to go ahead and say the outer wall has been blown out.
That actually happened.
Yes. So that's a thing. The outer wall's been blown out, so revealing the outside. And there's one other thing that I missed on his character sheet that I'm just going to bring this up, not to say that I'm going to retcon anything or whatever, but there is a particular thing. There's a particular thing that happened. So we're not retconning. So I'm not going to deal additional damage to this particular person. But there was a particular thing stated in the features of this NPC's character sheet that I had overlooked. So I'm just throwing that out there. So if something happens again,
oh god,
and you guys are like, "Whoa, wait a minute, that was different than the last time."
Oh god,
know that's why. Okay.
Do it. I mean,
that's exactly what you want to hear in this scenario.
I didn't expect you guys to even find him in the tavern. I didn't expect you guys to, engage him. I didn't expect you guys to be involved, at least not yet. And so,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just throwing that out there. So the way that we're going to do this, right, and I was already explaining this to Atlas a little bit earlier. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to do a round of combat, and then we're going to go back to the rest of the party, right? So there's going to be, for those of you watching, there's going to be a little bit of time jumping that's happening. It's going back and forth or whatever. So the events of Atlas and Roland are taking place between the hours of like 1:30 and 2:30 a.m.
Okay.
The events of the rest of the party are happening the next morning, like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So I'm throwing that out there right now.
So now I think we're dead.
Oh, is it? It's like 9?
What's going to be 9 for them?
For the rest of the party.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
so we're just changing a little.
Gotcha.
Right.
I'm going to reset the calendar.
Okay. You're going to reset the calendar?
No, just set it to the right date.
Oh, yeah. When's the last time you updated it, by the way?
It was 2 days ago, so I'll set it for the 17th.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
So we should be on 23 now. For those of you watching, it's the 23rd of Elasias, or the High Sun. Okay. Okay, so that's the way we're going to do this.
Hot. Yeah. And a downfall to this skin.
Okay. So, that being said, Ricard and by the way, Roland, that does not necessarily mean that you guys are dead.
Okay.
It just means that, and I'll work that. I'll work that part out. Okay.
They never returned.
Not you guys being dead, but
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not working that out. That's not what my intent is. My intent is not to kill you.
You don't say that. I don't want the audience to think we're,
No, I said my intent is not to kill you.
Intent.
That's not my intent.
Gotcha.
If that's what happens, right? I had nothing to do with it.
Fair enough. Okay. So, just for clarity's sake.
Sure.
Okay. So the sneak attack thing, do I roll that now? Because I did hit him before. I just wanted to make sure if you wanted me to do that, or if we're just gonna.
No, we're not recounting anything from the last session.
Okay. Now, just for matter of clarity, I do believe you said in the last session, and this will be on tape, but I haven't actually looked it up, that you would last session add it if it was, I guess, true what I said. I don't know.
Then I've changed my mind.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not going to take the time to try and remember that or whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just going to carry. But I'm okay with that being a thing for future reference.
Gotcha. Now,
but if you get an attack for whatever reason on someone else's turn, you can still apply the sneak attack.
Okay. Now, you said all the walls got blown out.
No, not all the walls, just the outside wall.
Outer wall.
Can you specify?
That's on the east.
Oh, that one. Okay, cool.
That was the only one that was the west wall to this room was the edge of the 20-foot radius. It was centered on, because remember, Atlas's dog is just on the other side of that wall.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a 20-foot radius for fireball.
No, it should be. Oh, yes, 30. It is. I'm sorry.
It's
no,
20.
It's 30 and 3.5, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
so essentially,
20 and 5th.
Yeah, essentially the entirety of this. So I am actually going to extend out to the right this map just a little bit. So that way, if you guys want, it'll give you the opportunity to move out into the space outside. But just note that it's going to be blank. Blank space.
So, and the people up here, they're alive still, correct?
Yes, those people are still alive. Freaking out, screaming. Yeah, everything else is like ash and embers. The one guy in the bottom left-hand corner of you guys, in the fighting pit right here, he is still alive. Bologna is still alive. Your mechanical dog is still alive. Yeah, your still defender is still alive.
Is Lambert still with us, or is he just ash?
Bro, Lambert is toast.
Oh my god.
Lambert is toasted.
He's just ashed, or is he like burned?
Well, he's burned.
Okay.
Like the whole top half of him is like one shriveled, like melted. You ever accidentally?
I think what we're asking is there any potential in possibly making, like, saving him at all?
Oh, you can check.
Okay.
Okay.
So with that, I don't know who roomed with who, or if people had stayed in the same. Because remember, so Ricard and Scottrick, Because you guys have
We're all
gone
separate
down,
rooms.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember we got up in the middle of the night and same room. It was funny.
Oh, you did. Oh yeah, where you came and snuggled with me.
right?
I don't know that I snuggled.
So it was the left-hand side of the space that was down at the bottom of the stairs that was hidden behind this cabinet, like pantry cabinet door thing, that's got some sliding functionality so that it can be hidden by all the liqueurs and stuff. And so it's one of 5 doors. Is the room that you guys have chosen, and you guys know that Kidron has gone off to like commune and do some of his worship stuff for Lathander. So he's kind of gone off by himself to do some of that. He did that before you guys approached this specific spot. So he's not made it back to you guys yet. So Scudrick and Card, you guys are rooming together. Morning comes. You guys find yourself awake, and towards the doorway of you guys' room, there stands someone bearing the appearance of someone who is a young girl, not young like 7 to 10 years old, somebody who's like in middle teens, blonde flowy hair, whatever. And she's standing there. She appears to be some kind of like servant or something of that nature. And so she kind of looks, and as you guys begin to come to, she says, bear my or please pardon my intrusion. I've been told just to have you meet with the High Lady. So if you don't mind, please make your way, make yourselves ready, and then make your way into the main hall here. And the High Lady would like to meet.
Sure.
And so she kind of gives a small bow, and she backs to the door, and then as she approaches the door, she turns and makes her way out.
Before she makes her way out, I want to ask her, make sure you're delicate going in some of the other rooms. They may be a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, I appreciate the information. There are some of the other servants are attending to those rooms.
Very well.
And
Morning, Scodrick. I guess
Morning,
we're off to meet the High Lady.
Yes, did you hear them come back last night?
No. I'm sure as soon as we get out of here, I'm sure the other servants are rousing them up. We'll gather together before we go to see the High Lady. I'd like to be able to clean up some too. maybe after the meeting.
Don all my gear.
Yeah, same here. And then go to head out of the room as soon as Scodrick's ready.
As I start to step out, I look back at my trunk and I lift it. Do I see Atlas's belongings?
Everything that you had left there before is still there.
Okay. All right. Huh. That's strange.
What's wrong, Scodrick?
Atlas left his important stuff in the trunk.
Well, wasn't it for you to keep safe? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I don't know why he didn't come back and take it to his own room.
Oh, that's right. They were going off, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So
yeah, I mean, they came back late. Whatever. They were being polite, not waking us. Cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
So we go out into the hallway and look for the other members of the party and the servant girl. Someone to lead us to the High Lady.
So you guys make your way out of the room or whatever, and you see there's kind of like this little conference between all of the different little servants that are there, and one of them kind of like quickly walks up the stairs that you guys had come down in. And then just after a few moments, kind of waiting there for a minute or two, whatever, that same servant comes back down and rejoins that little conference of servants that's happening there. And then one of the servants goes over to where you guys see at the side of this room or whatever, there's like this little table, and it's a pretty small table, big enough for like 4 or 5 people to sit. And there sits the High Lady. So the servant goes over to where the High Lady's sitting, and you see her kind of bend over the table towards the High Lady and whisper something. You see her whisper something, and then she stands back up, and then kind of gives a little bow, and then takes a few steps back, and then turns, and then motions at the rest of the servants, and they all kind of disperse. So as you guys begin to approach where the High Lady's sitting, she looks and she says, well, it seems that your friends either are very sneaky or and had already made their way out this morning or never returned. I hope that if it is the latter of those two, they are safe. But if it's the former of the two, I'm going to have a serious word with our God.
No, I had
Well,
a doubt Atlas would have come back and then snuck back out this morning. They were out late. I mean, he could still be up and moving, but they would need rest.
Could have went
At
to
least
his.
rolling.
Yeah, they could have went to Atlas's family.
That's true. They could have gone there. Maybe we should check there first.
Yeah.
That's probably the most likely place they went. And if they're not there, we can check my family's business. Roland was very intent on getting back there and getting that item he wanted, right? Getting that rolling. So, cool.
It's good
yes,
to see you're safe, Lady Solaria.
yes, and I certainly appreciate your concern. There are a few things I would like to discuss. Firstly, our previous station was compromised. We we had to leave quickly, and I apologize for that, for not having one of the mages of the Harpers inform you via message. But I had not the time to get to them before checking our other locations in Waterdeep. We have other points of transition and travel and hiding that the Harpers utilize for various reasons, and I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
And she says, so the hideout was compromised. I was assured that in our rounds that we weren't followed at all. We did our best to make sure that we weren't. But we've put a few things in place just to make certain that if we were followed, someone cannot retrace those steps.
Understandable.
Now,
I was
as
going to
far
say,
as
unfortunately, I don't think we were quite that thorough with our engagement at the manor.
well, that's something that I would like to discuss with you a little bit. I believe that there is some suspicion. So there was a talk of this social gathering that was to happen, and now what is 2 days' time. Unfortunately, it seems that the desired location of said social convention has been moved. That it was a vote that had taken place, and the council, in the decision to, we'll say, show off, has decided to utilize the council resident quarters to host the ball. When I say that, I'm referring to the mansion on the very same property that
Right.
you had visited. Um,
Okay.
I tried to convince them otherwise, that was a poor decision, to allow the public into a place that the council would use was a very bad idea. Unfortunately, they would not have it. Um, they feel that the measures that they'll take for safety are, are greater than what the public could do as far as damage is concerned. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you is something very curious. There seems to be uh, a small arousal in the public going on. Reports have just begun to come in this morning, um, and it seems that uh, there are uh, there are those who are beginning to question the integrity of the council themselves. Uh, it is only coming from a very small portion of town now, but and most of those who are making this claim are those who are drunkards, those who would be out late in the night. Um, there are couple of taverns specifically that this information has spawned from. Uh, and though suspicion has not grown incredibly, there are uh, it is beginning to grow. It seems in that part of Waterdeep. So I'm not sure what has happened out there or what other information has been given in that area. Um, but the public in those areas are beginning to call for um, some vote of sincerity from the council. Uh, they believe or feel that they've been given misinformation. Um,
Any more? That's very vague. Any exact details in what in how they are lacking confidence in the council?
there are suspicions or rumors going around that there are council members involved in the cult of the dragon.
Good. I do believe that would actually be pretty correct.
Yes, and
I like to regard.
And I'm sitting there. Ricard is sitting there smirking.
um,
From the moment she started that, literally has got a smirk on his face.
Ricard, the smirk on your face tells me that perhaps you had something to do with this.
I thought, giving what had taken place, it might not be a bad idea to ensure that fingers were pointed possibly elsewhere.
Um,
Um, so I did, just lay out a short, verbal cry, possibly uh, alluding to that, knowing that it would not be anything that would be uh, overly publicized. It's as you even just stated yourself. It's fairly limited right now as to uh, who is passing that information around. But it is there. Bless you. Uh, Out of character.
Thank you.
Uh, where did that sneeze come from? That sounded a lot like Aiden. Um,
Fairy fire everywhere.
it's fairy fire everywhere. Um, uh,
Can we rule that if I sneeze in real life and it's genuine, that I get a free slot for fairy fire?
Wow.
can I get a free slot for fairy fire when he does it too? Because that would be awesome.
Suddenly, fairy fire just sprays out into the room.
Anyway, okay. So and giving how we had been vilified in the past, um, I thought I believed it to be beneficial in the moment to make the happenings that took place there, being explosions, and we went from a mission of uh, silence and secrecy to uh, a rather hasty and violent retreat. If we could head off at least public opinion, away from any possible vilification of my comrades, being that I'm not supposed to be here right now. That would further the ultimate goal of me no longer having to hide my existence in the shadows, and exonerating my comrades, and bringing out being the first step towards bringing out the ultimately bringing out the truth, giving people a taste, I think, uh, of something will lead to being able to have them eat the entire meal one day without being sick to their stomach.
And so she goes on to express that she agrees with you, and she feels that um, the the move to having the ball at the mansion or whatever was something that she was previously concerned about. And then she mentions that now that there's suspicion being raised in the public's eye or whatever, as this continues to spread, because the more, the more it spreads, the more it's going to become like wildfire, essentially. Um, she feels that once this information reaches the council, whatever, they're going to try and regain the confidence of the public utilizing the ball and opening the mansion to the people, though that's not their current intent because they probably or likely don't have this information. She goes on to mention that it's going to create a very good set of circumstances for everyone because it's going to put the public eye in view of the inside of that particular mansion. And should a reveal happen of specific information whilst the ball is going on, there's likely to be an uproar. And if there's an uproar, then the public are going to demand to have information brought out, especially if it's for people that reside in the mansion right now, to have their rooms searched and all of that. And they feel like if they're truly not hiding anything or whatever, they won't refuse the public to have that allowed, right? And so she kind of expresses all of this. Okay, so Atlas and Roland. Um,
Can I just throw in real quick? I just
Yeah.
debrief her the entire accord.
okay,
As far as what happened.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and I'll add in any details that I see might be lacking from the fight down below and what was said. And I will say to her, you know, this is exactly the public exposure opportunity that we needed to keep them from fleeing town uh, before evidence could be presented. If it's done at that ball in front of not just nobles but townsfolk alike, there's nowhere they can run in this city.
And she agrees. And then after you guys give her the rundown or whatever, she motions, and one of the servants comes over or whatever, and she whispers something to the servant. That servant runs back up the stairs. Okay.
Can I make a perception
Yes,
on what
you
she
can.
might have whispered?
Yeah, go for it. So Roland and Atlas, he just cast the fireball, right? So just to kind of relay out the scene or whatever, Bologna is there on the eastern side of this this little battle arena, whatever. Your Atlas, what do you call it? The metal dog thing? I keep forgetting.
Steel Defender.
Yeah, the steel defender. Your steel defenders there standing in the center with you at the southernmost portion, just next to the steps there, and then of course Roland there to the left. So the eastern wall has been blown out, and it's been blown into the street. Right? So it's very late out. It's again it's between 1:30 and 2:30 a.m. There's nobody on the street.
That's good.
So now you guys do know that this particular street, whatever kind of weaves around, And so there's another street that's adjacent to the front of the building that you guys had come in from. And that is typically where like any like cart drivers or rickshaw drivers or whatever would wait for the people in the tavern to come out. Everybody in this immediate area, that little red square or whatever that I've placed, everybody's been desecrated or whatever. They've been decimated. That's the word I'm looking for. Not desecrated, decimated. Bar stools are like ash. Tables are like have fallen over because some of the legs have been blown out. Are scorched. They're on fire. Everything's on fire. In fact, the only thing that's not on fire is the pit that you guys are standing in, and the reason it's not on fire is because it is sand.
How about the floors?
The floors are all on fire. It's all wood.
Oh,
The ceiling above you is also burning.
okay.
So it's not been destroyed, but it is burning. So it is very hot. So one
Do
second.
we remember who was next in initiative?
Yes, I have it written down. Okay, so the first thing, well, no, that's all right. Okay. Yes, I have that written down. So let me scroll back over here. So he just went. So technically, it is going to be Bologna's go.
Okay.
And let me reopen her Duma Flurchy, her character sheet real quick because I forgot to open hers, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so Skodrick, you had made a roll to try and see if you could hear it. Yeah, okay, so she passes along the information about to her servant. Skodrick, as you're sitting there kind of listening into what the High Lady is whispering to her servant, she passes along to her servant that she needs three of the harpers from upstairs to come down, and so that's what her servant has left. And she says, "Do it hastily."
I looked at Ricard. I know he didn't hear. He probably didn't hear. Wow. Can I?
What's that, Skodrick?
Why did that not?
But I'll let them continue.
Okay. Well, I was just telling you while I was pulling that sheet up.
Okay. I'll let Ricard know. Well, I guess I won't tell him. But I just give him like a concerned look on my face.
Okay. Okay, so it's Bologna's turn. And she well, okay, so the problem with organizing your file folders the way I have is you have to dig through like 5 sets of folders to get to where you're going. Okay, so the first thing that she does she pulls out a healing potion. Pops the cap, takes a swig. Oh, did I really do that? Wow, I really did. I did that. Wow. Go me. So let me jump back in here so I can make a roll so you guys can see. I don't know how I manage that one. So she starts with that. She's got her sword drawn still. She's not frightened of this situation, but okay. So the first thing she does is she jumps up. She runs to the north side of the pit and then climbs the stairs. See. Okay, so that's where she's going. So she's gotten out of the flames. She's getting out of the heat, essentially. So that's going to be her turn for right now. And then it's going to be Roland's turn. So Roland, you're up.
Okay. Just to be fair, honest here.
Here we go.
Pretty powerful spell. I'm just checking both myself and Atlas had concentration spells up. So do we need to roll concentration
No,
checks?
don't worry about that.
Okay, so everything's still up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
We won't worry about that because I would have had you do that last time, I think.
Okay. So I'm still flying, I believe. And then all right, I will pull out my bow from where I'm at. If I can see him, right?
Yes, he's standing in the doorway. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like this opening. It's not really a doorway so much as it is just like where the wall ends, and there's like this 10-foot opening where there's like a semi-door frame, kind of, but not really.
Okay.
It's not really particularly ornate or anything. It just looks like supporting beams that kind of go up into like this makeshift archway deal.
It's a load-bearing wall. I understand.
Yeah.
HGTV. So
And it is on fire, by the way.
okay. I'm going to take a shot at him with my bow.
Okay.
And poison arrow. Come through the first one, and then I guess manage because of fairy fire. That's still up.
Okay. That's a hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Should be on there too. And
Don't forget your extra attack if you have one.
I do not have an extra attack just yet. But I have Hunter's Mark on and sneak attack. So that's shit. Okay, that just added a lot of stuff.
So
It's separated. It did not separate it.
How many of those arrows do you still have, by the way?
I have 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I can see which one's which on here. So it did the sneak attack damage first, which is a 6, a 2, and a 3. And then the
it's definitely 19.
So in the purple worm, somebody have a calculator out, just so I can, because he's got to do a save for the purple worm. Right now.
I got you.
Okay, so that was a 1, a 6, 2 5s, 2 1s. Am I going too fast?
I think we can hover over.
Okay.
It. No,
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
2. Okay. 3 3s. So 9.
Okay.
And then 5, and then a 3.
So it should be
That is
39.
a total of 38.
No, that was one off.
Okay, and then the hunter's mark is the +1.
So 39
Oh, yeah,
total.
so 39. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay, so roll for that. I think it's concentration, but I'm not sure what the DC is.
You mean Constitution?
Constitution, yes. I'm sorry. Words.
Your Constitution DC should be 8 plus. Is it
No,
from
no.
you or for just
It's from,
the?
it's from the
Okay,
poison. So it's a 19.
gotcha.
Dang.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
fails.
Okay, so he took 60 damage. I try not to use these guys. For the record,
That was
Kind of
it.
an
I
True,
mean,
if he's incredibly high level, he won't go down from this.
I know, but for anyone
And
watching,
he did a pretty good roll too.
for
Not gonna
anyone
lie.
watching, I know that seems like
A
an incredible
6?
amount of damage.
A 6 is a good roll? Or are you talking about Roland did a really good roll?
yeah.
Well,
Roland did a good roll.
Yeah. To be fair, there were a couple ones in there, and so I'm a little.
I
Yeah,
just had. I closed it by accident.
it's kind of.
Let me reopen this. Da-da-da-da.
It's gonna be enjoyable. Like whatever damage he ends up taking,
What did you?
I'm sure he's gonna love that.
Okay.
Well, if I can describe Roland's facial expression when that happened, just a cold, dead stare at this man. Like I have no
Like
words
the Night King.
for what the hell just happened. I took in all the damage that he just did to all these seemingly innocent people. I mean, they
Yeah.
were just watching a bar fight. I don't know their lives. Could have been scumbags, but they didn't deserve that, So I'm just kind of taking that in, and now I have a singular focus. But I will say to Atlas,
Yeah, what do you say with your turn?
you finish this now. Save who you can, and get the hell out.
Noted.
Okay.
And then you said that there was an opening out to the street there?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anyone around that looks like they're still alive at all?
The
Or don't I
guy
see them
right
from
here
wind?
just to the south of you.
Shit. Okay.
And of course, Atlas.
Yeah.
Don't forget to steel defender.
Can
Yeah,
I
still
reach
defender.
my hand out to that gentleman?
Yeah.
As if I'm trying to get him to grab my hand to get him out of here.
Okay. Yeah.
Does he accept the grab, or do I have to wait till his turn to do that? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm trying to do. He does accept?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna fly the both of us with my movement and a dash. I don't know if it's gonna take half my movement I'm not sure how that works.
A dash uses your action.
Well, no, I'm just to carry somebody. I didn't know if I had to.
He's got the rogue too.
So I didn't know if that was like dragging. I know that's like half movement or something.
So you've cast fly on yourself.
Yeah. But I'm
So
assuming I can
make
carry
a
weight.
strength check.
Okie dokie. It's going to be fun.
Dang!
Not
Look at
bad.
these
Not bad.
rolls.
I mean, this is I'm just saying
Not
this is
cheating.
our
No
Marvel's
hacks.
Avengers moment. Like,
Yeah, this
that's
is.
what this is.
Yeah, so you're able to carry him.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pull him out of here. Do I have full movement or is it half?
It would be half movement for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna do just normal movement, so 15 feet, and then the dash, the rest of it, for my bonus action.
Okay.
And carry him outside, away from the flames, basically.
Okay.
How far is that?
So it'd be like right there.
Okay,
Sweet.
so I'm gonna fly him to right here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna fly 5 feet up, hopefully outside of view of this guy.
Gotcha.
Just like
Okay.
above where the opening is. Okay, and I don't know if I can tell this guy to run, but I assume he's not gonna stand there and watch this. Maybe he will.
My beer.
I assume since I already used my free action to tell Atlas that I'm not gonna.
Okay.
That's for me.
So
Wait.
Atlas, it's your go.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Long Strider on myself.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Long Strider.
Then I'm going to move through here. Can I move on the same space that my Steel Defender's on?
You can move through that space. You can't
Yeah.
end your turn there.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. So I'll do
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, up the steps, 30, 35. And so, like, as I'm doing this movement, which I'm not done with yet, but may I, on my way through, kind of just look at Leo and see how he's doing?
Yeah, sure.
Like whether that takes investigation or maybe a medicine check. I'm proficient with
you
both of
wouldn't.
those things.
So if you're just checking them out as you're running by, you wouldn't have like the time to do a medicine check just like off a glance. But you can make a perception check and see if you
Okay.
can get like the basics of how he's doing.
How fried
Not
is the
bad.
chicken?
Because remember, he had like 13 hit points left when you guys hit him.
Yeah.
And you know he automatically failed the save because he was down.
Right.
So he took all 34 points of damage. Okay. Okay, so with a perception check or whatever, it's really hard to tell. Like the entirety of the front of his clothes are scorched, right? So it's like one big char or whatever, and his skin is now blackened and shriveled a bit. If he's
Okay.
alive at all, he is in bad shape.
Okay, cool. When I get up here, are any of the denizens are they hurt like from, the outburst of the fire?
No, it doesn't seem that any of the shrapnel or whatever made it to them. Fortunately, most of them uh, basically were spattered with some sand that had been blown from the pit when the fireball
Okay,
hit.
cool.
Or whatever. There wasn't really much that was between them and where you guys were when the fireball went off. So there wasn't a whole lot that um, would have happened to hurt any of them. So you look at, as you kind of get a glance across them or whatever, you know that um, one or two of them have some scrapes or cuts or whatever, maybe from a couple pieces of wood, but nothing that's nothing that's bad. Nobody's like bleeding or anything. Now keep in mind too, as you're moving in this direction or whatever, the floor and the stairs here are all on fire.
Yeah, I did know that, and what my goal is just to get up here and essentially do my best to start trying to guide some people out of here. So I'll use the rest of my move to diagonally move to 35 here and then 40 to right here, and I'll try to like pull this guy away from the flames if I can.
This
The
guy
one that's
here?
right here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. So as you run through the flames, you take 1 point of fire damage.
Okay, I'm good with that.
And this guy just willfully moves with your guidance.
Okay. Free action, I'll just say to Bologna, if you can help us get some people out, let's do it. And then I'm going to point out to the denizens who are south of me, there's a way out right on your left. And then bonus action, Steel Defender, I'll command the Steel Defender to try to drag Leo.
Okay.
So what will that be?
Do a strength check, and that's going to be difficult terrain, essentially.
Okay, cool. So I'll just roll a flat d20 because I don't have a separate sheet for the Steel Defender. And he has a modifier of 2 for strength.
Okay.
Dang.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Battle cry or die.
Okay. Yeah.
So a total of 22. He starts pulling him. Yeah. So I guess he'll just start pulling him towards the steps. How far can he get?
So whatever his speed divided by 2.
Okay, so 15. Does he need to move into a square to grab him?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so 5, 10, and then, 15, I guess, on top of this. Well, he can't end his movement there, can he?
So essentially, they're just also difficult terrain because essentially they're just like bodies on the floor.
Sweet. Okay, well, then I'll just move him up here.
Okay. All right. Both your, let's see, your steel defender is going to take 1 point of fire damage. And he
Oh
is going
God.
to take 6 points of fire damage.
Leo does?
Yeah.
That's at
Okay.
least 2.
Okay. All right. His Okay. This guy, it's going to be his turn now.
The wizard?
Yep.
We're confirming
let me
he's a
just
wizard,
make sure.
or is it just an assumption?
Oh, I'm sorry. The monk goes next. So the monk goes next. The monk is just going to take off.
Fair enough.
So he's gone.
Mm.
The monk is gone. All right. He's going to do 2 things. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Right. I'm just taking a look at some of his stuff here real quick. Okay. He is going to run. Essentially only makes it to the center of the ring here. And let me make sure. Okay. Okay. So he runs into the center of the ring here. And he takes 2 points of damage from that. And Atlas, he looks up at your direction.
Shit.
And he says, "You won't make it out of here so easily." And he holds up his hand, and you see this, and he
Another fireball?
second fireball
Oh.
Fuck.
God, I hate him.
hitting the wall behind you.
course he does. Of course he does. Oh, fucking shit.
So make a dexterity saving throw. And I'm going to roll 1 for all of the denizens of the bar. And then if you want to roll for Bologna, you can, or I can roll for Bologna.
I'll roll mine first.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So that's yours.
Does Bologna have a 2 to her save? Because I can roll it for her next too.
Let me see. Let me look at her. Bologna's got a +3.
Mm.
Okay, so can we just add 1 to the total? 21.
Oh, got you. Okay. So she saves. So you both save.
Can I use a reaction to try to shield this guy? Just to like pull him behind me. Just reaction.
Well, given that it's hitting the wall behind you, pulling him behind you.
Well, in front. I mean, in front of me, but like just out of the way. Out of the way.
Dodge.
Just fucking more.
Unfortunately, he would end up sharing a space with the guy that's already in front of you, and so that wouldn't work.
Okay.
Okay, let me see.
Or maybe I would jump behind him. I don't know. Like any way I can get him out of the thick of it.
Given that it engulfs a 20-foot radius, it's not really going to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am directly in front of the, directly behind the other guy, so
Push
maybe
him 10 feet.
Yeah, you know what? Perhaps push that guy into the pit.
Oh shit.
I mean, it would save his life.
The guy in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just shove, like, not force, like, not too hard, but just like push him into the pit.
You would have to
He'd still get hit.
Feet.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be underneath.
He'd have.
You know what I mean? Like
essentially, or 3/4 cover. I tell you what.
Anything to help these guys.
Yeah, you know what? Make a strength check.
Okay. Not too strong, but I'll try it anyway.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah,
Y'all, we need some Avengers music up in here.
So you definitely shove him into the pit. He goes prone.
Sweetie hits the floor.
Yep.
Stay down.
Well, actually, he doesn't. Before I say that he goes prone, let me make a dexterity saving throw for him.
He's just gonna just.
So he kind of like does the stumble stepping thing or whatever. So he doesn't go prone. And the reason
maybe
I say
he's
that
like 5'3" or something.
He would have automatically failed his dex save for the fireball. So
was that pit? I guess the pit's like 5 feet deep or something.
Yeah, it's fairly deep. So, but he's still, because of the angle or whatever, he's still going to get hit a little bit.
Okay.
So let me roll. So I'm going to roll 1 for the denizens. Oh, you already rolled for Bologna, so yeah, 1 for the denizens.
Maybe a save. I don't know.
I think the DC is 15.
It depends on the caster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I was thinking about the
from
wand.
last time.
I was thinking about the wand.
Yeah, you're thinking about the wand.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different when an actual caster uses it.
Maybe they have a really high dex mod. The collective group has a high dex mod.
I'm gonna zoom in on the. I'm gonna go to map screen.
And move them to the. Da, 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 da.
Oh.
I'm going to make a separate save for him. I'm going to give him advantage.
Oh, look at that. Could've just
Oof,
kept the one he
okay.
had. Spider retcon that.
Oh
Keep
no.
what he had.
They all died.
You are
didn't
gonna
ask
have
for that.
PTSD.
He didn't ask for that extra save there. I
Man.
think we should give him a benefit of the doubt.
So the fireball explodes, blowing out the wall behind you and the wall. Wait. Let's see.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no! It just blows out the wall behind, and to your right. So the rest of this corner of the building blows out.
Roland's
into the
like, what the fuck?
Which, okay,
Oh,
you
Oh, okay. I thought that was a.
all of that begins to ignite. All that's ignited on fire. You begin to hear the wood of the ceiling creaking, and you see the entire corner of the building begin to sag.
Okay.
All right, so that marks the end of the round. So Roland, you see, like you're floating like 5 feet up or whatever. You're trying to float, kind of fly in a space or whatever that puts you like level to the ceiling or whatever, so that maybe you won't be seen or whatever. And you see like the right portion of the building just all of a sudden after this explosion, right? This explosion
And I
happened.
know we got the Cinbalone or.
Now at the end of the round, okay. The flames are spreading all across the ceiling. They're beginning to get into the wood or whatever, but so far things seem to be holding okay. Make a perception check. Roland and Atlas, make a perception check real quick.
Good old 19.
One here
damn,
comes.
dude.
23.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Ricard and Skadric, after you guys have finished kind of chit-chatting with the High Lady about you recounted to her the story of when you guys infiltrated the thing or whatever. She whispered that to her servant or whatever. Servant runs up the stairs or whatever.
Question.
Uh-huh.
To clarify, Skodrick, you did not tell Ricard?
I did
heard,
not.
right?
I
Okay,
couldn't.
cool.
You're right. We're all together.
Right.
Okay.
I just gave you a concerned look.
You guys see 3 men come rushing down the stairs, essentially, and they kind of come within like 10 feet of the table and then stop. One of them proceeds to the High Lady, gives a little bit of a little bow, and then bends over so that she can whisper into his ear. She whispers something into his ear. Y'all are welcome to make perception checks. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let my pseudo dragon roll on this one as well because I really want to know. So first one me, second to her. I got a 22. She got a 13.
Okay. Yeah, you guys all hear her. She whispers to the gentleman that's been down in front of her ear. She tells him about the additional treasure and gold and wares that you guys found in that building. And because of the newness of the situation, she feels that perhaps, because there definitely would be city guard involved, since their ceiling had collapsed, right? This had just happened the night before. So since the ceiling collapsed or whatever, she absolutely feels that it is not likely that they would have had an opportunity at this point to get everything that was in that secret room out. So she is whispering to that particular gentleman that there's not been enough time for them to move all of the stolen wares. It'll help support the case or the cause. Evidentially, that they're involved in maybe not necessarily specifically cultist engagements, but definitely criminal engagements, right? Which would help, prosecute them in the future. And she is telling them that they need to go and be a part of the cleanup of that building, specifically around the involvement of that room.
Okay.
The gentleman then stands up, turns, and motions for the other two to follow him, and they immediately make their way back up the stairs.
Let them know exactly, like, it was in the crate. Should be underneath some crates, a little secret passageway.
It's a very small 15 by 15 room. Should be pretty easy to find. A couple of dead guys down there.
Okay.
Hi, lady. What are we going to rely on? Two things. One, at least somewhat worried about our compatriots not being here, so we'd like to go look for them as soon as we can. We've kind of chatted. We think they might have gone back to Atlas's home. Seems like something they'd have done if they were out really late. At least to me, and I think Skydrick agrees. So we'd like to go look for them as soon as we can, but I do want to know what's our plan for gathering information on these specific members' activities in the Cult of the Dragon and their connection to them. Is it going to be done purely during the festivities, or are we going to try and do it beforehand?
She says, actually, I was hoping to talk to you on that as well. She says, now, it's unfortunate that your friends have not come back yet. I was hoping that all of you would be here to learn the information that, or for me to make my request, and that was that you also would be a part of the cleanup going on with that specific location.
Okay.
Do you know if anyone there saw your faces?
The ones that did are the ones that are dead. I don't believe anyone else saw our faces.
Very good. Okay.
I cast invisibility as soon as I left. So as soon as we went to flee. So outside of general description, my only worry would be them identifying me. So I would need to take some sort of precautions.
Okay. Okay. What were you about to say, Scott?
I was gonna agree with that statement because he shouldn't be seen outside.
Well, if you had something like a hat of disguise laying in the armory that I could use, a change of clothing, that would greatly help.
She says, yes, of course, actually. I believe that if those things are not readily available, the clothing absolutely is. And if it doesn't quite fit right, we've got someone here that can tailor it to you. If we don't have a hat of disguise around, we'll certainly acquire one for you. She says, I agree that for the current moment you shouldn't be seen in public, but that shouldn't be a difficult thing to overcome. She says, so if you don't mind, let us acquire those things. Sir Skadrick, Ricard's requested a couple of things. Is there anything that you require, sir?
Actually, two things. Because I'm afraid this might be something that happens quite often, and I feel like we all probably be in communication with one another. Do you by any chance have sending stones?
I was looking for those. I didn't have any luck.
That is also something that can, if we don't have it readily available, we can acquire it for you.
And number 2, a nice hot bath.
Oh yeah, that would be very nice.
Oh, yes, of course. Certainly,
Here
I'll
you
send
go.
for my servants to make those ready right away.
Thank you,
I haven't bathed in like 3
Solaria.
months.
Roland doesn't know what that is.
Shall we have your sheets washed and pressed as well?
Skadric is new to that. He's
Any niceties you provide are more than welcomed.
Yes, very well.
Unfortunately, the last time I believe we've had a decent night's sleep was before last night was oh gosh, Godric, where was it? Was it all the way Dragon Spear?
He was probably on the road, yeah, with Roland and Trollam and yourself, my lady.
Yeah. So unfortunately, my magical abilities aren't what they once were. So
Um, yes, we will provide you with such, and hopefully, after this ball, not only will you be able to sleep well, but perhaps sleep like kings. So, once you're completely exonerated, and the city openly accepts everyone from your party, your baths shall be made right away. Shall we wash your clothes for you?
yeah, mine could actually use some slight repair as well. That would be awesome. Thank you, Skodrick.
Of course, yeah. The armor's new, but my clothes, yes.
Very good. Okay. All right. So they send off for you guys go into this. You're kind of led by one of the servants into one of these back rooms or whatever. And this back room has like a few tubs in it or whatever that are large enough for bathing in. There's water in each of the tubs or whatever, and it looks crystal clear as you approach it. Whatever. The tubs look clean. This is actually a pretty nicely kept room. It's not like the fanciest room, it's pretty basic, like stonemason floor, basic walls conscious line, kind of lighting the room a little bit. So it's kind of like a very basic space or whatever, but it's kept very clean, as you guys can tell as you go in there. And as you walk in, there's like a little place where, like there's a little stand you can hang your armor on, a little weapon stand you can put your weapons on. So as you get ready for your bath, whatever. And then a couple of the servants come in and begin using magic, and you guys see like the water begin to ripple and boil, and then they stop using their magic or whatever, and then the boiling kind of simmers down and stops, and you see the steam rising from the water. Okay, so first thing I need to do here. Da, 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 da. I almost forgot.
The damage roll.
Yes, of course. So Atlas, you succeeded.
Okay.
So 16 damage for you, and Bologna succeeded
Brilliant.
as well. And
Wait, isn't it half for her?
I don't know
And
if I don't.
16 damage. She succeeded as well. 16
I
damage.
thought she had the resistance. Or maybe I'm mistaken from last time.
Oh, she does. Okay, let me see.
Oh yeah.
She is really glad she drank that health potion, though.
Jesus.
Shit.
Me too. Me too.
Y'all realize
God, I
y'all
don't know
are
what
like
to do.
y'all are a couple of fails away.
That dog's gone, dude.
The dog's fine. It's not that room's not on fire.
Is it?
Yeah.
The building's on
You know,
fire.
I'm really
Is there
hoping
like
that
a
that
sections of
bartender on the left side is just like unleashing the dog and just taking him out with him. That's what I'm hoping is happening. Otherwise, he's just hiding behind the bar doing nothing.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Um,
Oh, did
good question.
Doggo just move?
Could you roll a sense humanity to see if he has enough heart to save the daggone
Jesus.
dog, DM?
That dog might be good meat for the night.
Okay. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm not going to tell you though. And I'm going to leave the dog right there without telling you what the move the dog makes is, so you can't see the move the dog makes.
Sweet. Moxie has always been incredibly intelligent. I trained him well.
Oh wow, that's canon. You just made that canon. Intelligence
in
is
here.
19. Smells Atlas like, ooh, master.
So you
She
were
must be in here.
Runs out into the fire, burns to death, yelping, trying to crawl.
That is the
towards him.
saddest.
So this would be the fortunate part where Atlas is not in his own body, because if he were in his own body, that would likely be the case if the dog got untied.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the
that's true.
Atlas
That's
being
true.
not
Nobody
in
didn't
his
even
own body.
recognize me.
So that's where you remember the dog being, right there. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That brown squiggle. Okay, so top of the round.
Dog feces.
It is Bologna's turn. This north and east wall is open now. She's just she's out.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
Yay.
I tried now.
Does she look at me like when she's leaving?
Yeah, and it's just like the look of sheer terror accompanied by pain.
Oh,
her
how far away is she?
Her clothes are
Let's
like
see.
singed or whatever. So she's making a dash. So she was here. So she's like
Oh,
off
way
the edge of
gone.
the screen. Yeah. Here, I can do this.
Okay.
I can give you another bump. Nope.
All right. Cool. She's like 60 feet away.
Yeah, she's like there.
Out of danger, at least.
Yep. Seemingly. So top of the round. That's her move. She's using the dash action.
We gotta stop this guy.
Roland, you're up.
Okie dokie. So I see Bologna get out of there, I'm assuming,
Yep.
or if I okay.
Yep. So the ceiling now is sagging. So it is probably only at the corner of this, right? At the northwest corner of this building, it is only 7 feet between the floor and the ceiling, because the wall's been blown out.
To
The ceiling is on the
northwest.
verge of collapsing. Yeah, I can mark it.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me change the color of my marking here. So that corner is only 7 feet from the ground now.
Okay.
That whole space is on fire, by the way. This whole space is on fire.
Spirit. Okay, so I see Bologna get out. I can
Yep.
only assume that Atlas is right behind her, seeing as how I didn't hear her like crying or anything. I'm assuming I doubt she'd leave him in there if he was like on the ground. It's the only assumption I can make.
Is that something that I guess Roland's trying to work that out?
When I'm just
make a perception check real quick, and then make an intelligence check. Well, what is Roland's intelligence without the roll? What's the base score?
Base score is an 11.
Okay, make an intelligence check.
No, of course.
So you definitely saw. You definitely saw Bologna run out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know if that's his girlfriend, so I don't know how much he cares about him because he never told me the truth. Okay. So I'm not petty. So
So
all
as
right,
far
Did the
as
water just get cold a little?
whether or not he's going to follow her out, you're not 100% sure.
that's fair. That was his assumption. Anyway. I'm sorry. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna get into a position to where I can see this guy clearly enough.
So you're flying down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And you're looking. There's like flames and there's like smoke and everything. His image is there, but it's distorted. But it's there. It's definitely there.
what does that translate to as far as a roll goes? I have to ask. Is that like a disadvantage if it was
Well, there's
more,
not.
or is that like just a standard roll still, or no?
Yeah, we'll just go standard roll for right now.
Okay. Is Fairy Fire still up? Yes or no?
It lasts as long as I'm concentrating on it.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
So he is still okay. Right.
Oh wait a minute, Ricard, you're muted.
He was supposed to roll a concentration check when that fireball hit him. If he took
Oh
damage.
yes, I didn't have you
Yes.
roll concentration checks for the last fireball, but I am for this one because it's in this session. So
This is
It's
why
a
this is-
go ahead and
Constitution
make that-
saving throw equal to
Yes.
half the damage or 10, and so the DC will be a 16.
Go for it.
Good.
It's a
Yes.
19 con save.
Okay.
Wow.
Dun,
you
dun,
lucky
dun, 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 dun,
Okay, so we'll take
dun,
Fairy Fire
dun,
still
dun.
applies.
Okay, so I'm gonna take
Shoot his ass again.
another poison shot at him.
Okay.
Advantage.
Non-lethal.
Not 20.
Okay.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
this
we
is
would like to thank Kevin Feige for directing this episode of Battlecry Die.
do not brag. We're so bragging. The roll is just again. I'm in a mode where I'm just like, okay, all my
He's
focus is
feeling
on
it.
killing this son of a bitch. I know this is gonna work. I'm gonna do the poison roll separately, just to
Okay.
avoid that.
Go for it.
Okay, so
Damn.
so that's 20, 13.
Oh.
Okay, roll it twice for this. Cool. All right.
Ooh.
So the sneak attack and the hunter's mark both got rolled twice, and then the piercing. So that's 19. Can't do math. 32, 52, and then the poison. Is that roll? Let's do that. 45. Am I rolling the poison twice?
I mean, it's technically all rolled damage,
it's-
right?
So
If it's
Oh,
a
no, I
save, I
think-
think you're not supposed to. I feel like I saw a Jeremy Crawford tweet that said it's not supposed to. It's not intended to.
yeah, it's
Gotcha,
there's
okay.
a saving throw attached.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Right.
agree.
Yeah.
Let's not do too much now.
All right. So here's a saving throw.
Okay. I'm gonna assume he doesn't
I
have
love
an
this
11
guy.
modifier.
He just did almost 100 damage.
2 rounds, you definitely did at least 100.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it 53? Which so
There is
53
no
and
way he is like a
45?
20th level wizard.
98
Can I
plus.
just do the headshot?
I mean, you got
alive
this guy in the neck or something, or in his heart. I don't know.
So I'm having a math,
Is required. Oh my god.
and I'm slowing. I'm slow on the maths. What is this? Oh yeah. No.
God, I'm gonna do all the math on the damage. Let's see. 19.
This guy's
33.
still standing. He's a freaking god. I don't even understand.
52 base.
Plus 45. So that's
Oh
98.
my god.
That's on this turn.
If he failed, then yeah, it's like 98.
I mean,
And he did 60 on the last. 150 damage.
I try not to use those.
How much was it? Ron, did you say?
It's got to be like what 98
97,
plus
98?
plus
400 mark.
plus 60 from the first one.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the...
I'm sorry, 98.
I'm just talking about the 98. Okay. Okay.
That's stunning. How
That's insanity.
just I want to make sure everybody realizes that the cult could have taken all this stuff out of our
Yeah.
inventory
No, I
because
agree.
they had it all.
They didn't know what was on it though.
They really didn't.
Yeah.
No, it was all they had to do was look in the bag.
No,
They
they had to
didn't.
go into
They
it and
didn't.
look at the arrows
They
and
have
know
to.
which were.
Dude, it's like it's no
Man,
wonder all
I'm
that
just saying.
poison and venom and stuff was worth so much. Like,
How do you test
Yeah.
that?
it really is no wonder.
Oh yeah, Scott, you licked it, so yeah, you should know.
Yeah, it just tastes bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes down.
Wow.
Okay. I would have
Does
said
Auto
non-lethal, but
die?
I didn't think it would make any sense to say non-lethal.
Does that more than double his HP though?
Yeah, I don't think you can do non-lethal with the poison.
Yeah, I
No.
didn't
Can't.
think so.
No,
I was
you
gonna
can't
be
do
like,
non-lethal with an
big toe.
arrow.
Yeah, it would have to be a blunted arrow.
Yeah.
So the question is does that do more than double his HP in one hit?
I don't. Fuck him. Just,
If we're
don't-
looking
it-
at it that way,
Just oh,
I think that's up to me, right?
Yeah, it is. Up
right?
to
It is.
So,
Yeah.
okay. All right, yeah. So he goes down.
Okay, so he's down. Primary target eliminated.
Yeah.
Bill
So
gets
you
to
guys are out of
fire.
initiative.
I'm going to. Oh, okay.
So Steel Defender's dragging Leo out.
Atlas, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for both you and your Steel Defender.
I'll do that. I think we have I think we both have the same. No, we don't. So the Steel Defender has one less than me for the deck save. I'll
Okay.
make mine first.
Okay.
20.
Jesus.
And the Steel Defender rolled an 11.
DM, I was gonna say
Uh-huh.
if my turn was still going, if I had any movement, I was gonna go and try to get Lambert the rest of the way out on my turn. Would that have been possible at all, or no? Or is this happening right after?
Your turn. So yeah, I guess you can go in. You can fly in. You're muted, Ricard. I don't know if you're saying something. Okay. Yeah, you can fly in. You can if it's still on your turn.
Okay. I didn't know if it was gonna, because it conflicted with the Steel Defender dragging him, and then I didn't know if it was gonna be something where my movement, I'm assuming, is still gonna be half.
Unless make another intelligence check.
How smart is rolling this time? Come on, roll.
Thinking these things through. Yeah, it was a little slow.
Not
yeah,
too
so
smart.
You think that you're going to be able to like just go in there and get Leo?
Great.
Yeah. So
sure, I love that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna swoop in real fast in 6 seconds.
okay. So you swoop in and you grab Leo. You grab
And then
Leo's body or whatever.
And I was gonna
now,
dash out, so I had 45 feet to go, and that's just take him out in 10 feet or wherever it is out, just right
Okay.
there. Oh, gee.
Okay. So
So
you're going to have to make Atlas, I need you to make an opposing strength check.
For the Steel
So
Defender.
Roland is trying to take the Steel Defender from, or trying to take Leo from the Steel Defender.
How
So
dumb
this
is
is
this?
D20 plus 2.
You've given the instruction for the Steel Defender to
Yeah.
drag him out. So it's going to be an opposing strength check.
I can't assist with this.
I mean, do I see what he's doing?
Roland, you've got to make your own strength
So I
check.
can take this thing out of it. Okay.
Atlas, you can
Wow.
make a perception check, but it's not your turn.
Yep. Here
That's
we go.
fine. That's fine.
So,
I was just thinking like a reaction just to be like, just let him go.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
This is 16 total.
Oh,
Ah, here we go. Nope.
yeah.
Well, I just
okay.
give up and get the fuck out of there.
Okay. So
Because there's no reason to
you grab
waste it.
Leo to try and tug him out or whatever. He is not. The Steel Defender is not letting him go.
You're a very stupid dog.
So you let it go.
I mean, well, actually, the Steel Defender is quite intelligent.
Well, in this moment, it just feels dumb. So I'm just gonna say it and leave. I walk away. I fly away.
Cheers to all the dead people in the tavern. You know.
Yeah, here's some water, guys.
Yeah, I think I counted up 17 people he's killed.
That's just the
So
physical things he put on them. He said there were more.
Yeah.
So Atlas, you save. So you're going to take half damage from this.
Shit.
Oh.
Your Steel Defender does not save.
Oh shit.
Um,
Oh no.
So he's
This is not going to be
What's
fun.
happening? Oh,
You know that Steel
Rolling.
Defender cost 5,000 up to 5,000 gold to have made.
What? What are you talking about?
That Steel Defender cost 1 to 5,000 gold to have made.
If somebody else makes it for me,
That's how much it costs to have it made. Yep.
yeah, I would just make it myself. I'm proficient with everything.
That's what it costs.
so that is 9 bludgeoning damage and 3 fire damage.
I'm down.
oh.
Ouch.
You take half of that because you succeeded your.
Right, I'm still down.
What the fuck?
Oh my god.
The fucking building got you?
No, we need to settle this Steel Defender thing before we start jumping into that. Steel Defender, I can make one every morning.
That's what you're worried about right now? Seriously? Okay.
I'm just hashing that out before we start getting into, it's going to cost me like 5,000.
Are we out of initiative? Just for clarity's sake, we're out of initiative, right?
Well, I can't now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's down.
He's got to roll death
Atlas
saves.
is under a burning pile of rubble.
Okay, here we go. We're doing this.
So what I was going to do on my turn was cast Aid, by the way, which would have put me at the perfect amount of HP. Get out of it.
Oh.
Okay. So the round technically wasn't over because he still had to go.
All right, make a dexterity check.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a saving throw or just flat?
Just a flat dexterity.
Shit.
Okay. Come on, Kevin Feige.
Oh, look at you.
18.
Wait,
From
you
the
said
grave.
Dexterity check, not a save.
Oh, okay. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm sorry. You could just take two.
subtract
Take
it.
2 away from it. It's 16.
Oh,
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give
16
you 8.
rolled.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll let you get 8 off.
8 damage off of it?
No. Aid.
Aid?
Mm.
Okay.
I'll let you
Oh, I
cast
see.
aid. Yeah.
Like cast it. Well,
Yeah,
that puts me at 1.
Wait, what?
Okay.
I think that puts me at 1 if I took, let's see, if it
Okay.
was 9 plus 3.
So this is
Add.
damage. You would have taken 6 damage.
Yeah, that puts me at 2.
Okay.
Fancy. Okay, and
Just
Thank
inside of the
you.
building or was it the whole building?
it was the whole. It was this whole portion. No.
The Steel Defender take the same.
The southwest. No, the Steel Defender takes 12 damage.
Mm.
Okay, so minus 12. Steel Defender's fine.
Just assume Lambert's done. So now.
Yeah, for sure. That was definitely 3.
Okay.
Maybe we can bring him back to life. I don't know.
All right.
Well, you know what? It cost him in the end to be an angry mongrel. Out of character. Out of completely. Atlas wouldn't take this.
Jesus. That's how you rationalize. Okay, sure. All right. Are we out of, okay. So is Atlas still in the building?
So at this point, we'll be out of initiative. Both Atlas and the Steel Defender can make it out of the flaming rubble.
Did you drag his body out, bro?
Yeah, I wonder if the Steel Defender dragged him out, like carcass just burning.
Yeah, I mean that's the.
So can I get out without
So it's
taking the
Anakin.
fire damage somehow?
Yeah, you've already taken it.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Yeah.
out.
So you're out. Yeah, you get out.
Okay, so I'm out. Steel Defender's out.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
The Steel
And I guess
Defender's still dragging his body,
sweet.
which is now much more husk and less human.
Can I try to give him like CPR or something?
Mouth to mouth. You don't have a mouth, bro. Like
I would try. I would try.
I'm thinking Anakin at the end of Revenge.
can I assist? What is the medicine you're doing?
So
Don't have that.
so
I
essentially,
suppose.
at this
Sorry.
point, Leo would have failed 6 death saving throws.
Fuck.
So he
Okay.
is like the things that have happened between the time he's gone down and now, or whatever. Yeah. So he's like he's like, you know, it's going to take an act of divinity to get him to come back.
It's like
Like you're going to have to resurrect.
a
Lathander.
Viking funeral.
Right.
Does he still have his battle axe on him, like strapped to his side or on his
Didn't even
back
get
or
to him.
something?
No, it didn't even get to him.
Did I know where it was at?
Oh Jesus, no.
It was in the crowd that is now beneath the flaming piles.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so
Fine.
first point of order, if I can, I'm gonna fly around to the other side of the building, the entrance on the other side, and try to locate Atlas's dog form.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what? I'll definitely go with him for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Atlas,
Now
you
that
good?
you guys are out too, Bologna's going to reunite with you guys.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
She's been watching for you guys to see how this was going to go or whatever, and she runs up. She like wraps her arms around you, she breathes this huge sigh of relief, and starts sobbing.
I'll just hold her.
Also, so one of the things I was going to mention too, from your previous perception rolls or whatever that you guys had made, because I kind of skipped over to those guys as soon as y'all made those rolls. There is now a crowd standing in the street watching this unfold, and people have begun to bring buckets of water. They are tossing buckets of water onto this flaming pile in what seems to be an attempt to prevent the flames from spreading to nearby buildings, because it's not that far. It's not that far from the other buildings.
I would love to, like, while I'm holding her,
Mhm.
like rub her back and tell her that it's going to be okay and cast heroism on her.
Okay.
But that
Yeah,
would drop the fairy fire, so I'd be concentrating on a new spell.
sure. Yeah, and so as you do that or whatever, her sobs dissipate, and she breathes like this sigh of relief, and says, "Okay, business. What's the next set of
The
business?"
next step is, I know that a lot just happened, but we got to start helping these people put out this fire. So let's go do that. Roland, do you mind going and looking for the dog for just a moment?
I will.
And by the way, thank you. You're my friend.
Oh. You're welcome. And I'm not
Atlas,
really gonna say much else.
Bologna puts a hand on you and casts Cure Wounds.
Oh, sweet.
Get that in her pocket.
So let's see. And I've got to look at her spellcasting modifier here. You get 8. You get 8 points of health back.
Great. Okay, so I got 10 total. All right, and she should be getting back hit points equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 4 on every 6 seconds.
Okay.
For the next minute.
DM. Is the other side of this building, like where the dog was that on fire too, or was that
So
just...
that is now, flames have now begun to spread to that portion of the building.
Okay,
As you kind of check out into the road. Make a perception check.
Okay, another one.
Yep.
Fuck this one up.
Are you flying still?
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
14.
Okay. The bright light of the flames from the building that is blazing now are casting down the street. You
Okay.
do see the silhouette of a canine figure running down the street from
Which
where you
direction?
guys are.
Away from us? Or...
Yeah, away from where you guys are.
Okay. How far away is he?
At this point, probably about 50 or 60 feet down.
Okay. Can I quickly try to get over to it, and then I guess try to like calm it down and get a hold of the leash?
Yeah, sure. Make a dexterity something, either check or save. I'll let you pick.
I'll just pick a save, I guess. 25.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to swoop down, and now the rope that was tied around the dog is not there anymore.
That's fair.
But you do manage to get a hold of the dog
I'll just be like,
itself.
calm down, Moxie. Calm down. It's my wolf mask. I'm a friend. I'm a fellow canine.
Okay.
Don't freak out.
Atlas, as you're standing there beginning to
Like I'm picking up buckets and stuff and just
right.
pouring this water.
Okay. As you're standing there helping out or whatever, make a perception check.
Okay.
All right. Now skipping forward some, Skodrick and Ricard.
19.
So the High Lady has made that request that you guys be a part of the cleanup crew for the building that's that had collapsed previously, and during the previous night or whatever. And she mentions that one of the reasons that she would like you guys to participate is in case in her guys that are going, in case they overlook anything. So you guys being there would help point out to them specific details so that they could get to and would have information specified to them. It would definitely give them an advantage at taking a look at all that stuff or whatever. So Alice, as you're looking around or whatever, there are city guard now that are beginning to approach where you guys are. So okay, yeah. So go back to Skodrick and Ricard. So the High Lady's made this request of you. She mentions, she understands your concern, and
But we were up in the bath chambers,
right.
right?
Y'all had gone to the bath chambers,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So after your baths are finished or whatever, you go to get out, and you note that your clothes were taken and cleaned and seem pristine and have like this lemon fresh scent aroma kind of emanating from them, and also any armor that you guys had doffed to bathe in has been cleaned and polished. Dents, scratches, scrapes, and things have kind of been buffed, if not completely out, then mostly out. And the armor itself almost looks new.
I could get used to this.
It is nice.
We gotta find the guys.
Man.
Okay, so going back to Atlas and Roland, as you guys, it's now like 2:30, 3 a.m.
All right.
Bologna approaches you, Atlas, and she mentions to you in this like worried voice or whatever. She says, now that your parents know about your desire to fight or whatever, word of this tavern situation happening is going to get around town pretty quickly, and it is likely that your parents might wake up to bad news. If if somebody who knows your parents or whatever and knows that you're a part of this or whatever is to spread word or finds out that this tavern has burnt down.
Okay.
And she says she thinks that it would be a good idea to make way over to their house, to at least present to them the information that you're fine, that you successfully made it out of this situation or whatever. Now, as she's saying all of this to you, a guardsman approaches you,
Yeah. And
and
can
uh
I say something to her before he walks up?
yeah,
It's gonna be like,
absolutely.
baby, I think it's a good idea to go speak to my parents and everything. I hear you out fully, but I have a duty here to take care of first. And I also need to talk to this guard. And I look at him.
Okay. So the guardman is approaching you, and you see as you're kind of looking around or whatever, guards are starting to approach various peoples or whatever. And then there's one particular gentleman that's traveling with the guards, and the gentleman that's traveling with the guards, he comes up and he holds up this staff, and he holds the staff in the air. As he holds the staff in the air, this mist begins to shoot out from the end of it in a
Okay.
cone and begins to engulf the flames in the northeastern portion of the building that is collapsed.
Okay.
And so you see the flames begin to flick quite a bit and start to die down. So the
Great.
suppression of the flames is becoming a lot quicker. Now, as the guard approaches you, whatever he says, and you see this is happening with quite a few of the people that are there. He approaches you and he says, or he begins to question you. He asks, "Do you know what's happened here? Would you be willing to come to essentially what is this station, and to the guardhouse and tell some of the captains there what exactly has transpired at this location?"
Yes, sir. Can I talk to you about the situation that happened here while you're on the scene and can report everything that happened? I would just so happen to be like a first party eyewitness.
And he says, "Yes, we'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you now. You can absolutely relay that information to me, but I would also like you to relay it to the captains as well once we're done here."
Okay. So DM, do you want me to relay it to him like in character or just say that I kind of just told him whatever and then I can actually
Yeah,
talk to the guards?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
that's fine. Okay, so Scott and Ricard, switching back over to you guys. So you climb out of your bath, you begin to don your clothing and armor again.
Drying off.
Real quick, how late can everybody play tonight? What time are we looking at cutoff time?
I don't work tomorrow.
Probably like
I don't work
midnight.
tomorrow.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't work either.
Okay.
So.
Do y'all want to take a quick break? I mean, we're only 20 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, if we're going to
If-
end at midnight, I'd rather play through personally.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice to do something.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, Ricard Scotter, go ahead.
Go ahead and don my clothes and armor.
Yeah. Since I know I'll need to change clothes anyway, I'll kind of just put on the minimal of what I need to put on my
Okay.
armor and start heading downstairs.
Yeah, certainly.
That was a nice bath there, Scudder.
Yeah, man. Much needed.
As you guys begin to kind of make your way, another one of the servants approaches you guys and has in their hands some folded clothing or whatever, and it's fairly nice, some fairly nice folded clothing, and they hold out their hands and kind of hand it to you, Ricard, and then kind of looks at you and says, there is a hat of disguise on its way. They've sent message for it. It's coming from another portion of the city, but should be here within the hour.
Okay, I'll need the time to attune to it, of course, but that's great. That'll help out a lot.
Cool. And then she then reaches into like this little satchel she has at her side, and she pulls the satchel from her side, or pulls from within the satchel on her side this little wooden box, and it's almost the size of a cigar box, essentially. And she hands it to you, Skadrick. And as she hands it to you, you kind of hear like this clacking coming from the inside or whatever. A clacking that happens momentarily as she's passing it to you.
Open it up.
Yep. So as you take a look inside, there are 4 onyx stones. They're cut. They're cut into a hexagonal, almost like diamond shape on them. Each of them, there are 4 of them. Each of them has on one side one specific rune, and on the other side a different rune. But 2 of each of so you note that one or 2 of the stones have the same runes on both sides, and then the other 2 stones have a different rune, but both share the same rune. So it's almost like there are 2 pair in this box.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's our sending stones.
All right. You think you think you can send forget her name. What's your dragon's name again?
Lana, for sure.
Do you think we keep 2 of these and send the 2 to them? Maybe she can find them at wherever they may be.
It's possible.
Could save some time.
I mean, if if they're at one of the places we'd send her to search, yeah, she might be able to find them. Let's see if we can go there first.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm just kind of wary about sending her off.
I understand.
So before I just send her off that way, let's figure out our time frame and what we're gonna do, and if we need to send her while we're doing the recovery work, then that might be a good chance to do it. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. I could message them now and say, so they can do the recovery work as well. If they meet us there. It's either way.
You have to use your spell slots to do that,
yeah,
don't you?
That's true. Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, we need to go get Wint anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that spell slot would have come in handy some point later on last night. And let's hang on, because like you said, we have to go get Wint anyway.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
We can make a stop.
Suit up.
So Atlas and Roland. So Roland, at this point, you've gotten the dog. You've made your way back over to where Atlas and Bologna are. Atlas, you see Roland coming from the sky with your dog in his arms. Whatever.
Well, okay. To be fair, what I would have done in this specific situation if I see a
Uh-huh.
guard.
I saw guards.
I would
Oh,
literally take a rope, tie it around the dog, tie
okay.
it to the fender, and then
Oh, okay.
whistle, and then like get out of there.
Got you. Okay.
That's a good
I would
idea.
and then
Make a stealth check.
okay. 21.
Okay.
And my destination, just to speed this up, because I know we got short on time. Where I would be going, I would
Uh-huh.
be going back to the Harpers temporarily,
Okay.
just to get the statue that I left,
Okay.
and then I would have in fact gone to Ricard's shop.
Okay.
Later in the night.
Gotcha.
And there is one
Okay.
specific thing that I wanted to do, but I'll wait in case someone else wants to do something.
Did Roland just say he was going to the
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are you
shop
guys
in
like a
the middle of the
McDonald's or a
night?
Walmart, maybe? Like a
Well,
24-hour?
last I checked, I did ask before. I know at some point during the night if someone would be there, and you said yes.
Oh yeah, there's somebody
Yeah,
there.
they stay.
Yeah. Okay. I can help you out, DM.
Okay. Okay. Um,
If you don't mind me
no,
relaying you info.
yeah. Okay. So, let me look here.
Very curious about these captains.
Split up 3 ways.
About to speak up to some authorities.
Oh God, don't get yourself arrested.
No,
Trust
not
me.
speak out. Speak up.
Okay, but last time you were around the guard, you didn't do well. So
Yeah, that's because, admittedly, Atlas was just being a shenanigan.
So Bologna says that while you're going to speak to the captain guard, she's going to go to your parents' house.
Okay. Yeah, this does seem like that kind of emergency, so that's probably a good idea. Please be safe on the way.
And she says that she will, absolutely. And then she kind of like says that she's going to go ahead and go. She gives you a kiss, flips her hood up, and as she's flipping it up, she stops and kind of works it up over her horns, and then pulls it down. So it's kind of a funny look because her horns are kind of like sticking out,
Yeah.
poking into the hood or whatever. But she has managed to pull the hood up enough to like shield or shade her face from the light that is flickering off of this. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Okay, so Roland, you managed to fly off and head back to where the High Lady's new hideout is. And you fly over the building, you get through, go in, get your stuff, and begin to make your way down to Ricard's shop. The Stoneflower Wares. Atlas, once most of the flames are extinguished, the city guardsman, you've recounted the situation to the city guardsman, and he mentions to you, he says, well, the first thing that he does is ask you where your friend is, the one that you said made the bet.
So he actually went back to go find our friends and potentially, at least as far as I know, and out of character, this isn't a lie, like potentially go talk to the High Lady about what happened.
Right.
You know
Okay.
who the High Lady is, so.
And he nods his head. And he looks at you for a moment and he says, she seems to have been absent uh, upon the eve of yesterday. And
The High Lady herself?
he says, yes, and then asks you if you know where her location was, or had you seen her at all.
I do know where she's at, but with the level of authority that she's on, it would probably be very disrespectful for me to reveal that kind of information. And it doesn't have anything to do with the tavern, so I don't think I can answer that.
And he says, very well. He says he understands that some of the things that she does, should be kept a little more secret.
Right. Yeah.
And so
As
he
it goes
understands
with.
you're wanting not to.
Right. Thank you for understanding.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So once the flames are primarily or mostly extinguished, he then has a couple of horses drawn up and offers one to you and asks that you'll just follow him to where the guard captain is.
That's totally fine. Let's do it.
Okay. Obviously, your steel defender is going to follow.
Now, do I know where the guard station is myself?
So you know of a couple of places that they could potentially be. In relation to where you guys are, there is one that is northeast of you, just a little ways. Let me pull up the map and I can tell you. So you guys are up there.
Basically, I just need to know whether or not he's taking us the right way. Because if he starts taking us off the beaten path, I'm going to start getting a little cautious.
Right. From the way that it seems, the one nearest you, it definitely seems that he. It definitely seems like he's taking you to an actual guard captain place, like
Sweet.
a guard station.
All right, cool. That's all I was wanting to remiss.
Sure thing. As you guys are traveling, the guard captain or the guard that's with you, he kind of looks back, and he looks back at you and he says, he leans over and kind of pulls his horse over close to yours, and he leans over and he says, there's something following us.
And can I tell that it's the steel defender, or is it something else?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 18.
So as you're looking out and about or whatever, it seems like the steel defender is the only thing that's following you. You don't see any other persons that have the appearance of following you guys at all.
Okay, so what do you see that's following us? Because if it's the metal thing there, that's actually mine.
And he says, okay. He's like, I was.
Yeah, so it's totally fine. We're safe. Yeah, we can head straight there, and we won't be in any trouble with that thing.
He says, okay, very well. Okay, so you make your way to where the guard captain would be, and it's like one of the guard locations, right? It's like the building where some of the guards come in and out and kind of get their orders and go out and about their business. It doesn't have a jail attached to it in any form or fashion. This one particular place or this one particular building is just like a post for guard transitions, things like that. But you do know that it would be one of the locations a guard captain would be, because he'd be the one issuing the orders, and so guards would come in and out of this location to get their orders, right? So the guard leads you into through the building or whatever, and a couple of the guards that are standing on either side of the door seem to become a bit apprehensive, but then he motions and says, "No, he's with me," and the metal thing too. and they kind of stop and relax a bit.
Okay.
He leads you back into this back room, and the back room looks kind of like what you'd see in the typical television interrogation room type deal, minus the mirror. Uh, so it's just like a room with four walls, a couple walls conscious that are lighting up the room or whatever, and just a table with a chair on either side of the table. Um, and he says, "If you don't mind, sir, wait here. Um, can we provide you any mead or ale? Uh, or would you like? Are you hungry? Is there anything you'd like to eat? Anything that we can provide you while you're waiting?"
Um, you know, I don't really. Well, we don't even have to get into it, but that's something that doesn't really interest me. What mainly interests me right now is, just talking to the captain whenever they're ready and comply to whatever you guys have going on. It's okay. You don't have to worry about meat or anything, but I do appreciate the gesture.
Okay. Um, he says, "Very well. I will go retrieve the guard captain, and he'll be with you momentarily." Now, Roland, so you're making your way southward. Uh, are you flying? Are you walking? Have you
Uh,
landed? Are you trying to hail?
the Harpers to get there as quick as possible.
Right. Hmm.
Uh,
So after you've made it there, you've decided to go back to the Stoneflower shop,
correct.
right? So after you've left the Harpers, how are you traveling from the Harpers to the Stoneflower shop?
As quickly as I can, but trying to think. I mean, I'll be making sure no one was following me at that point because
Sure.
of the previous incident. But yeah, I would probably maybe give the boots a rest, take a cart.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you managed to get back out on the street. You hail a cart. Um, it's a little ways away from where you are right now, but not too bad. Um, so you hail a cart, whatever you pay him the silver pieces he requires for travel, uh, and he begins to make his way. Make a perception roll.
Oh, Jesus. Nat 20.
Okay. So you're riding along the cart. You get about halfway, what you would know to be halfway to the Stoneflower shop, um, and you note what seems to be ducking in and out of alleyways um, behind you is a person who is on a horse who seems to be making an attempt at staying hidden, but not doing very well so because they're on a horse.
Fair.
Um, and so it's like every time you look back or whatever, they turn into an alleyway. And you note this happening basically from the High Lady's current hideout all the way to, or from the Harper's headquarters all the way to where you are now. Uh, and at first, it's just like, okay, it's just some random person traveling on a horse or whatever. But after about the third or fourth, alleyway that this person is ducked into, you start to recognize that the features of the silhouette are the same. The horse is the same. It's the same height. It's the same build. And so you're seeing the same person every time. Um,
Okay.
so halfway to the Stoneflyers from the headquarters is when you notice this.
Okie dokie. So, assuming an hour hasn't gone by since I last cast this, I'm going to attach Hunter's Mark to them,
Okay.
and then I'm going to ask the cart driver to pull into an alleyway,
Okay.
just enough so that we're not immediately visible to this person. Pay him if I hadn't already paid him, and then fly the rest of the way to the shop
Okay.
as fast as
Um,
possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Make a stealth check.
I love these checks.
You'll probably succeed.
Why would you say that? And then I
You
realized
just,
someone.
you just have to.
Nat
Oh,
20.
yeah.
Jesus
Jeez.
Christ.
Back to back.
He is a
Funny.
mist, a vapor in the wind.
Good God. 30.
He rolled a nat 20, and it is a 30.
Yeah.
Proficiency plus.
It's expertise and everything in there. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Want. All right. So regarding Skodrick, you guys waiting around at the headquarters for the time, allotted time that it takes for the person to arrive with the hat of disguise. That person does, and it is delivered to you with haste or hastily. Ricard, did you guys want to hang out at the headquarters long enough for Ricard for you to be able to attune to it? Or did you want to try and disguise yourself in any way before leaving and attune to it while you're traveling? You're muted, by the way. You're still muted.
On Discord.
On Discord, yeah.
Sorry, lost Discord. It got stuck behind the window.
Oh,
Oh, you're good.
Gotcha. Hey, no worries, man.
I would have, in the interest of time, just disguised myself the way I did the day before.
Okay.
Just kind of cloak over my head and used,
Sure.
and kind of darkened inside the hood while I took the time in traveling to attune.
Okay. And you guys mentioned that you were going to go to Atlas's parents' house first.
Is that what you want to do, Skodrick? You want to head by?
Or were y'all going to go get Went first?
Say get Went.
What? And that's their warehouse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
One and the same.
It's in the same direction.
Okay. Yeah. We'll
Two
go to
birds,
the
one
warehouse
stone.
and check there, and then.
Or one bird.
Okay. So let me make a couple of notes real quick. So Atlas is awaiting the arrival. Guard captain. Atlas, you're awaiting the arrival of the guard captain so that you can relay the events of the tavern to him. Sorry, guys, just typing some notes down.
How dare you?
I hope the sound of my typing the notes down isn't too terribly irritating.
Do it a little softer for the ASMR.
All right. Split the party even more. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Cool. All right, so I have information down. I think this is where we will end the session. So Atlas, you're patiently waiting to speak with the guard captain. Roland, you're making your way to the Stoneflyer shop after having evaded someone who was following you. And Skodrick and Ricard, you guys are in the next or later in the morning and making your way to the warehouse of Atlas's parents to retrieve Went.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody watching on Twitch, thank you guys for popping in and checking us out. We hope you enjoyed the events. And we generally play Friday nights. Next weekend, our schedule is going to be a little off as well because of weddings and such. So we'll keep you guys updated as to when we're going to be playing.
For sure.
Yeah. Also, check it out. We video game throughout the week. We have a Facebook, Twitter page, YouTube page. We try to post, and yeah, we get a lot of movement going on. It's slow moving, but it's still movement. This gameplay has been brought to you by Battlecry or Die.
This is a really fun stream.
Yeah.
Very, very fun.
All right, we'll see you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Battlecry or die.
See you later.